Pleasant good day to you all. This is Big Polly coming to you with Retro Championship Wrestling. This week, or this occasion, we are on the Western Circuit for 9 matches, 2 title bouts, which we will get into later. And you can see the card ahead in the lower right of your screen. And we have our first bout almost all ready to commence. The Fabulous Kangaroos of Al Costello and Don Kent taking on the New Zealand Sheepherders. Not the better known pairing of Butch Miller and Luke Williams, but Jonathan Boyd and Luke Williams will be the pairing. The Kangaroos won the World Tag Team titles, but have lost 2 rematches to the Rock and Roll Express since. They are 1-3-2. The Sheepherders are 0-2, and they have both yet to have a match in our 6-week contender grid. This is a 30-minute time limit bout. 2 heel teams, 2 teams from the same region, battling out for supremacy, and I forgot to set the Sheepherders to computer controls. But I'm not going to use that strategy cards yet. Oh, knee drop fails. Forearm uppercuts. No pin. I want the Kangaroos to use some of their cards before I start using mine. Get the upper hand. We have a cut. And no surprise that we would have a cut in this bout. And it is Costello. Gets blasted by Jonathan Boyd. And I need to remove the possibility of the match ending on a stoppage. It's the Sheepherders leading. Sheepherders have control. We're going to punch. Thank you very much. Kangaroos have not used the card yet. No pin attempt. Well, pin, but a kick out there. This is being recorded June 9. And the Sheepherders have come well out of the gate. And a pin try doesn't get it done. June 9th, it was the night, it's the day after the Spurs controversially beat the Knicks to cut the deficit in the NBA Finals to 2-1. Legal choking. Battering ram does not work. One of their specialty holds. So the strategy cards are being doled out. I just rolled on my dice app 7 pixels is where you get that on the Google store. Legal pin try. Nope. Strategy card to nullify a possible DQ. We're more than halfway through. The Sheepherders are dominant, but they are just not getting the chance at the win. Another pin attempt goes awry. Another pin attempt, no. So it's now 5 pin attempts to 3 for the Sheepherders. Last 10 minutes, so we're just gonna... All I got is my outside help cards. Oh, and it's Butch Miller. Butch Miller has hit the ring. And He pulled the top rope down, and it was Costello taking the brunt of it. Of course, we'll try for an illegal pin. We're heels. We're down to our last two cards. Bulldog by Don Kent. Nope. Down to the last cut now. On Jonathan Boyd. Okay, on we go with this one. Gotta type up what happens. And now we have a lip cut on Kent. Good bout between these two teams. A lot of blood. Another pin try. Nope. I'll call for outside help again. And we have a DQ. The reason for the DQ he will just have to make up because I don't have what it said. So that was a good match gone spoiling for the sheep herders. The Kangaroos will win by DQ. We'll say Butch Miller interfered at 26-27. Good bout while it lasted. 3.5 stars. And we have a brand new show that we will be debuting next week in RCW because we got to give everybody who was not in the Contenders Grid something to do. It's going to be called RCW Elevation. We have a few grudge matches. We're going to open the show, the debut of the show with a championship match. It'll be Nick Bockwinkel and Ricky Steamboat. Steamboat holds the only win over Bockwinkel early in Bockwinkel's career, so that ought to be good. And if Steamboat wins the title, well, you'll just have a world champion outside the Contenders Grid. So give the win to the Kangaroos. And I think they should buy drinks for each other. Now, on to our second and final tag team encounter tonight. Bruiser Brody and Stan Hansen, who are the former World Brass Knuckle tag team title holders, they're going to get the Funk Brothers. They will be the tweeners since they are in the West, and that spinning toe hold song is going off. Like that. It's out there on YouTube. They are the former Western tag team title holders, the Funks, and they got they got beat by Bigelow and Vader. I think I accidentally said an obscenity. Sorry about that, folks. Okay, just making sure I didn't repeat my error in the first match. So this should be a wild and woolly one. The Funks had some encounters with the Sheik and Abdullah the Butcher that were legendary. So these two tag teams being very popular in Japan, Brody and Hansen are 4-3-1. The Funks are 4-2, and they each lost in their last battle. And a pin attempt. First pin attempt goes to the Funks. I was watching a tag team encounter between the Funks of Abdullah and the Sheik, where instead of a cut to the forehead, uh, Sheik and Abdullah take a fork and they start stabbing Terry's arm. Not good if you're squeamish, I'll just say that. And it's dead even so far. Spinning toe hold, nope. Applied by the Funks, obviously. I mean, could you imagine Stan Hansen doing that? All these guys from Texas, of course. Chair shots, and now it's the Funks with a little bit of an upper hand. Three pin attempts to one. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 singles matches tonight. Pile driver does not get the pin. I don't think these two teams have ever met. No, I am correct. I am correct on that assumption, but you would think they would be made to order for each other. Oh, and we have a cut. We have a cut on Terry Funk. So let me just type that up. We'll say Funk's right ear is cut, because Funk gets cuts in unusual places. Pin attempt, no. Suplex attempt, no. Another pin try here, nope. Funks are just circling around Brody and Hansen. 6 pin attempts to 3. Another spinning toe hold try, nope. I think this has got a very good chance of going to the draw. Damage-wise, it's about even. The Brody-Hansen duo just ahead. Oh! And another move to the post is going to bust open Dory Jr. We'll say he got blasted on the forehead. So now can the Funks make it to the 30 minutes with a draw? Okay, another pin attempt by the Funks, but you know, with them losing blood, that's not good. Their offense has got to be weakened. Oh, and the Funks hit. It was Brody hit with a small chain. So we knew that this bout was going to be wild and woolly, but the only thing we're not going to have is an ending, as this is going to go to distance, a 30-minute draw. Each team will pick up 1 point in the contenders grid. So that was a good bout. Okay, on to singles action. And then after our seventh bout, we will take a break. It's time to smell what The Rock is cooking. He will be in action against Samu Kido. Dwayne Johnson, of course, now a big movie star on the silver screen. And there is a Samu Kido. We will make Johnson a tweener. He's the foreigner. And this will be a one fall 30-minute time limit singles bout. As a face, he is 4-1-1. He hasn't been seen in the ring for a little bit. I think we had Rock as a heel also. And our simple rating system takes both into account, by the way. He's had a lot of DQ, uh, technical wins, technical draws, only one clean pinfall. That was over Steve Austin, who is now, of course, the Western champ, going for the Brass Knux title. And Kido lost to the Destroyer, but beat Bull Ramos. So let's see what happens when these two clash. 30 minutes. So The Rock's got a pretty good record at 4-1-1, but the simple rating system, if you get a technical loss to no fault of your own, it counts against you because you didn't get full points for a pinfall or a submission. And that's why some of these guys really struggle. Too many DQ wins. So maybe next year when we get to year 2, maybe we give that a tweak and just wins will count as wins and losses will count as losses. Oh, so this bout gets chippy, and Kido has blasted. So Kido blasting Rock with and off we go. So Rock is cut. And then so The Rock has won by countout. He's 5-1-1 now as a face. Who was his only loss to? DQ lost to Harley Race. And that's been it. Crowd really didn't like the bout, only got 2 stars. And on we go with bout number 4. And it'll be junior heavyweight Cavernario Galindo duking it out with Mitsuharu Misawa. Very capable grappler from the Orient. So this will be a 30-minute time limit. But we mainly feature Misawa as a tag specialist, but he can hold his own in singles, or so we think. They have only had one bout Galindo lost to Otto once, and Misawa to Brody. But that small sample size had their ratings high enough to where they were able to get into this first grid. So let's go with our fourth bout. Emerald Frozen off the bout, but it did not get the 3 count. So you'll see some technical skill in that. Another near fall after a hip toss by Misawa. Knee across the throat does not get a pin. If I remember correctly, in that Galindo-Wantz match, Wantz pinned them in like very short order. Another thing that happened in the sports world last night as I record this, last night being June 8th, the A's and the Brewers had a slugfest. Kenny Norton would say Sluggers Fest at the Las Vegas ballpark hosting the Aviators. And the ball travels well in Vegas because of the elevation. And there was like 11 home runs, and the Brewers won in 12 innings, 15-14. So that happened. I was watching some of that game. Oh, back to the action. We have a double count out. Double count out between these two, so they will each pick up a grid point, we will call it. Which is a shame for Misawa because he was doing well. So a DCO 1437 is going to bring us to our fifth bout. To finish the thought, of course, the A's are moving to Las Vegas in a couple of years, so they're having a couple of series in the Las Vegas Aviators Park in the Summerlin suburb of Vegas. And yeah, the ball was just flying out of the park. It's like the old days of Wrigley Field. And as you can see, I'm just typing up this for the Delphi board. All right. So this next bout will be very intriguing. Two baby faces. Although Curtis was a heel at one point, teaming up with Mark Lewin, and they will be, by the way, be in our main event in the indie circuit on Friday. Hopefully we can get this done Friday. So I'm going to make Curtis a tweener here. Curtis was well known in the Florida circuit, too. He was a promoter in Jacksonville and would occasionally come out of retirement. But he and Mark Lewin were a very popular, then unpopular, tag team in the Northeast. So on we go with our fifth bout of the evening out of 7. Inoki is a former two-time World Junior Heavyweight title holder. Those were his last 10 bouts right there. 11-5-1. Lost the title to Danny Hodge not too long ago, and Hodge has held it since. Curtis has had 2 draws, one with John Cena and another with Toshiaki Kawada. So this ought to be an interesting bout. And Curtis is another one of these guys because he didn't have a big sample size, got into this first contenders grid. And if you want to stay in the grid after 6 weeks, you have to have just as many wins as you do losses. So you could, for the purposes of keeping the grid simple, I assign a point for a draw, technical draw, 2 points for any kind of win, and if you get to 6 after 6 bouts, then you get to advance, and then we Call those not in the grid right now up for to compete, and if we run out of gridsters before we go through everybody, then we put some new people in. So this has been pretty even through the first 7 minutes. Side roll by Inoki, no pin. Curtis, if I remember correctly, was one of these guys who was like on the verge of being a junior heavyweight. Inoki, junior heavyweight. I consider anybody at 225 pounds or less their build weight to be junior heavyweight material, or if they were at one point a junior heavyweight in their career or won a junior heavyweight title, like Jerry Lawler would be a junior heavyweight because at one point he was a junior heavyweight champion. Back suplex by Curtis, and it gets the pin, and a stunning one over Antonio Inoki here. So that is a surprise. Well done, Don Curtis, and he did it clean. So Curtis by pin and a nice little technical battle. Getting it done with a back suplex. So he picks up 2 points towards his 6 in the contender grid. And Inoki will have to pick up 6 points in 5 bouts, whereas Curtis will only need to pick up 4 in his last 5 bouts. I was reading in Hooker. Hooker is not a book that has anything to do with prostitution. It was written by Lou Thez that he used to spar with Don Curtis, if I remember correctly. So a nice upset win there for Don Curtis. And we move along, quickly move along to our next bout. You had a couple of guys who could brawl. Lars Anderson, who at one point in his career was the most compensated professional wrestler. He had the Guinness Book of World Record. He was making more money a year than Andre the Giant. He will be in the ring against UFC MMA specialist by the name of Gary Albright, also wrestled a bit in Japan. And they will clash over 30 minutes. Anderson's 2-2-1 hasn't seen a lot of action recently. He went to a time limit draw with Gorilla Monsoon, lost to Lou Thez, had a win over Lou Thez in the Indies, defeated Bill Goldberg by pin. That's probably the biggest name he has defeated cleanly. He's 2-2-1 through 5. And here is Gary Albright, time limit draw of Ivan Putski, beat David Von Erich, but lost to the sumo star Tanoyo Bori. With Albright being the bigger man, both grapplers are going to have to change up their styles a little bit, but this should be good. And Albright immediately cut, as you might suspect this kind of bout. Anderson does not have the best stats, but he can surprise, as we have told you has happened in RCW. So on we go, as I have a sip of water. Baseball for you tomorrow, if you are seeing this on June 9. We'll have the Time Travel League and the America 250 League. Pin try by Lars Anderson, did not get the 3. Albright kicked out way in time. And Anderson so far has been perfect, although he just took his first hold. Albright slapping him around with some forearms. It's been all Lars Anderson so far. Of course, he was in that Minnesota Wrecking Crew, along with Ole and Gene, Kayfabe brothers. And Anderson's now cut. Problem that Albright's going to have is he does not have great stamina. That /6 is not good, and he's huffing and puffing right now as we speak. Bridging German suplex countered. So Large is going to have a huge edge. Could get it here. DQ. Somebody has interfered in the bout. Oh, it's Ole Anderson. It's Ole Anderson saying, "You're not a true Anderson." So maybe these two need to have settle differences soon on elevation. Although this week's card is pretty booked, we could probably squeeze another bout in. So yeah, I wasn't going to do 6 bouts, but we could do a 7th. Or take a bout that I did have on the schedule and replace it. So on to our last non-title bout, which is going to be Strong Kobayashi, who fared well in, I think it was All Japan in the 70s. No, it was been known in my games, my wrestling's finest circuits, to occasionally pull off the upset. He is going to face the man coming into the music of Jigsaw, Sky High. You've blown it all sky high. He's going to get Mil Mascaras, the man of 1,000 masks, in a technical battle. Blown it all sky high by telling me a lie without a reason why. Okay, so Strong is 1-0. He defeated the UK version of Kendo Nagasaki by DQ. Mascaras has been a tag team champion with his brother Dos Caras. He has had limited singles action, and his last bout was a win over Larry Henning, the Axe, in a singles bout between two tag specialists. He drew with Bert Azarati. Lost to Dr. Wagner in a surprise bout early in the history of RCW in the South Circuit, and he held a win over Karloff Lagarde. So I think you'll see some agility out of these. It's 250 pounders, I would say. Strong Kobayashi, I think, was the first man to body slam Andre the Giant. So this is bout number 7. We will have 2 remaining after this, but I will take a break, do totals, which you will not see, and then I'll come back and do the last 2 matches. So we've been moving right along on this card. It's about even so far. About 8 minutes in. Mills got exceptional stamina. He's got that /4. So you're not going to beat him by outmaneuvering him. You pretty much got to beat him with bulk. Flying body press on Strong, and Strong Kobayashi finds the ropes. Well done. Mills got 6 pin attempts to Strong's none right now. He's slightly ahead on damage. Kobayashi trying to turn up the volume. Oh, a chair shot by Strong. My goodness. He just had enough of Mill outworking him, and he's going to beat the 10 count. My goodness. Well, I guess you do what you got to do to win in the contenders grid. So Strong's going to win by KO. We have seen a few surprise outcomes tonight here on Retro Championship Wrestling. And that was a surprise. That is for sure. And another surprising outcome on the undercard. So I imagine he'll have to explain that to his many fans. And as promised, we're going to take a pause for the cause and be back to do our 2 championship matches right here on the Big Paulie's World of Sports Sims YouTube channel. Let me just come on camera, tell you, as I had been mentioned in the body of our episode, baseball tomorrow, the America 250 League will be bringing us another game, game day number 3. We got 159 left to go, but we will be able to get to that project with a little more intensity as the year cruises along. We will also be bringing you action from the Time Travel League. Thursday, we go back to the 1976 NC2A tournament with 2 more games from the Midwest region. Then next week, the West. And then Friday, we should be back with our Indies circuit here at RCW. Let me switch to display feed. That'll help so you don't see my ugly mug as we bring you our championship bouts, and this is the first of the 2. The team of Bam Bam Bigelow of Big Van Vader recently reclaiming the Western Tag titles after defeating the Funk Brothers for them. They will be facing a team they have met before, Rick Martel, Tony Gurria, who were a very strong tag team in the WWF of the 70s. Martel and Gurria are going to have to move around the boulders here. As you see, they're going to have to change out their strategy. They have had 2 bouts. They won the first bout by DQ, but then in a no DQ bout, they lost by a pinfall. Bam Bam and Vader are 5-7-1. A lot of their losses were DQ losses. This is their most recent 10. They lost to the Funks by DQ. They lost to Bob Orton Sr., Eddie Graham by DQ. They lost to Cho-Ten, who are now I think they are still the Northern Tag Team. I think they lost the belts. Okay, let me just double check They had a bout in the North, and my short-term memory is going off on me here. So let me just take a look. What happened in that bout? Oh, it was the Road Warriors winning by countout. That's what happened. Okay, my bad. So this is done, that is done, and off we go. This is a 60-minute time limit, but this will count towards the contenders grid. Our bouts in elevation will not count towards the grid. So we'll be wrapping up the first week of that 6-week grid when we meet again on Friday. Then Saturday and Sunday I'm going to be away, as I will be attending a game night at our church. Oh, and blood. We have blood, as we have often had in this card. And it's that good old ring post that's getting a lot of use. And on this card, it was Gurria sending Vader postward. Bloodying up the co-champ, I am writing down. So on we go. The DQ rules are in effect for our title matches. The Brass Knux title is no time limit, no DQ, and only the Brass Knux titles are no DQ unless there is a stipulation to the otherwise. So Gurria and Martel putting up a lot of damage, but it's not translating into a lot of pin attempts. They are just working circles around Bigelow and Vader in this one, and a near pin off of a flying shoulder block by Gurria onto Bigelow. They are just moving around, but Vader has seen enough and has gone for the Vader bomb. Does not get the pin. Easily got to 2, but it didn't easily get to 3, as I think it was Martel who kicked out. Greetings from Asbury Park countered, which was a move Bigelow won to claim the ECW title in the late 90s. So we are 20 minutes in. Vader bomb again, and another kick out. It was Gurria taking the Vader bomb. He's going to need a chiropractor after this bout. 23 minutes in. It's still Martel and Gurria doing most of the damage, but the champs are like wounded animals. You get them in a corner, you better be prepared. Headbutt to the jaw. It's now 8 pin attempts to 6 in favor of the champions, despite them in an enormous damage deficit right now. Almost at the halfway mark. Clothesline by Martel and Gurria. And yeah, the champs are getting winded. Could we see brand new Western tag title holders right here and right now? They are sucking wind. And now they are piling up pin attempts. The pin attempt step is now at 9-9. But Martel and Gurria are way ahead on damage. Another near fall there. It's going to take an extraordinary effort to knock these guys off their feet. 35 minutes in. It's 10 pin attempts each. This will be a very good bout. And there it is. The titles change hands. We will see what happened. The body press by Gurria on to Bigelow. A very tired Bam Bam Bigelow has done the job, and we have brand new Western tag champs in the form of Rick Martel and Tony Gurria. Which will take a little more paperwork for me to do in my system, but we will do it after the cameras stop rolling. First titles for each of these two. We have not used Martel as a heavyweight or as a single, and we will probably do that some point. He was the AWA champ, of course. Okay, on to our last event. A couple of baby faces putting up their dukes for this Brass Knux title. And that is going to be Bruno Sammartino, one of the greats of all time. Had 2 reigns of the WWF Championship and held the title somewhere around a combined 11 years. We use his 60s card. But Stone Cold, not afraid of anybody. DTA, don't trust anybody. This is a match made to order for him, you would think. So this is no DQ, no time limit for the Brass Knux title. Austin is the Western champion, so if he wins the title, he has to vacate the West title, and whoever is the highest ranked non-champion on the contenders grid after 1 week will be declared the Western title, the acting Western champion, and he will take that title and defend it. As you see there, Austin 5-2. He beat Jack Briscoe to win the Western title. Bruno is 6-4-2. A lot of the losses he's had has been by disqualification. A few. He's had a lot of clean wins, too. He defeated Buddy Rogers for the belt and then defeated Emil Zaha in the defense last week in the West. So he hasn't had to travel much. So off we go with this one. This ought to be a Donnybrook and a half. We start with a pile driver by Bruno. Yeah, these guys are putting away the niceties and are just tearing at each other. It's Bruno up early. Oh, and a pile driver by Austin on a steel chair. Bruno, who had a broken neck at one point in his career. That has got to hurt. And now Bruno has a minor cut. We'll just call it a scratch. We'll call it an arid scratch by Austin. Cut your fingernails, Steve. So on we go with this bout. Austin leading now. Pin attempts are even 1-1. And it's Sammartino taking a page out of the playbook and stomping a mud hole into Austin, not allowing him to re-enter the ring, but that won't matter in this bout because there's no DQs, no stoppages. Oh! Bruno becomes the chairman of this bout as he bashes Austin with a chair. And we're now 9:39 into this bout, so both these guys losing some bark. An attempt on Austin, no. Canadian backbreaker, no. But a close to a submission on Austin. Austin is a sad citizen right now. He's got to get his second wind. Austin cranking that neck of Bruno's that might have been hurt when Bruno was pile driven into the steel chair. Nope. Oh, and now Austin saying none shall pass. Knocking Bruno back down to the arena floor off of the apron. Canadian backbreaker does not result in a submission, a kick by Bruno. You know these two are going to lose their tempers on each other. Bruno was legend for that. Just throwing caution to the wind and going berserk. Another Canadian backbreaker. Try, and this time Bruno's got him. So Bruno wins our main event. in 20 minutes, 20 seconds. Austin has a nice going away present. He gets to keep his Western title. A Canadian backbreaker does the job. Forced out star bout. Now Austin can just go back to defending that Western title. So, our card has come to an end here on Retro Championship Wrestling. We hope you enjoyed our card. We got 9 bouts done in somewhere around 40, 45 minutes. And with the pause I took, it was probably closer to 35, 40. So that concludes everything for today here on the Big Paulie's World of Sports Sims channel. Baseball tomorrow, more basketball on Thursday, and we should be back with RCW on Friday. This has been Big Paulie. Godspeed, God bless. We'll do it all again soon. Bye-bye for now, everybody.